What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with 4 weeks of physique update from Rubiel Mosquera aka Nextzilla, giving us an update from that famous oxygen gym mirror, which is famously known as Magic Mirror, because all those big names like Big Ramy, Rolly Winkler, Brandon Carey, Nathan Diesha, they all used to take their progress pictures in this mirror, and the lighting there and that whole setup, that makes you look so good. So looking at this update of Rubiel, the abs are so separated and dug out, and so is that serratus. So another thing to appreciate about Rubiel is that he has those striations all over his chest and his shoulders when he hits that crab most muscular pose, which really showcases the quality that Rubiel has. But that being said, there is no denying this fact. His chest and his arms are overpowering his shoulders, and that is the area that needs more attention. Almost everyone has been saying that he needs more shoulder-to-shoulder width, especially if Rubiel wants to move up the ranks. So don't get me wrong, he's still a big contender for the title of the Weight Pro, which is happening in less than 4 weeks time now. But it is gonna be up to the judges what they really wanna see. Will they go for Behrooz Tabani, who is the most athletic guy in that lineup? Or maybe William Bonac, who is gonna be the most dense and most muscular guy up there? Or will they go for Rubiel, who has the mass, who has the freak factor? It's all gonna come down to how much improvements Rubiel has been able to make since Prague last year. That was the show where he placed third, beating Nathan Diesha, but he was unable to beat Michael Krizo, and I believe that was the best version of Krizo on the stage. I believe that version of Krizo was even better than his version at the Olympia last year. So Chris Cormier, who is the trainer of Rubiel Mosquera, he claims that he will be a lot better from the back, and if that is truly the case, Rubiel is gonna be really dangerous. I mean, he's a guy who is gonna outmuscle all of these guys anyway. So if his back is improved, then he's gonna make a very strong case for him winning that show. And keep in mind, if he's able to do that, this is also gonna be his first professional win. So talking about the Weight Pro, Milos Sarcev released 4 weeks of physique update of Behrooz Tabani. So Behrooz Tabani, with that extremely tiny waist and that insane V-taper that he has, he creates such a great impression with his first pose, the front relaxed, and that is the pose that these guys do when they first walk out on that stage. And same goes for our reigning Miss Olympia Derek Lensford as well. The illusion that he's able to create with that front relaxed, no one in the bodybuilding world has those kind of proportions. So coming back to Behrooz, during these past 2 years, Behrooz has worked extremely hard on his legs, and when we combine that with his insane upper half, those 3 first shots, the front relaxed, the front double and the front lat spread, they are so damn impressive. And maybe that was the reason judges had him clearly winning over Nathan Diesha at Flex Pro Italy. So that back double biceps is just absolutely crazy, with an insane amount of detail top to bottom. So if we are talking about a complete package, Behrooz has everything, and I think he has a great shot at winning his second pro show of this year, which is something that he hasn't done in the past. The Weight Pro is well within his reach, and that is gonna be a huge payday for any one of these guys who's gonna win that show. So it is really a shame that this guy's chances of getting to this year's Mr. Olympia, they are still looking very slim, because he is a legitimate top 10 Olympian in any kind of lineup. Next up, we have a 15 weeks out physique update from Akim Williams, the winner of Toronto Pro Show. So Akim was able to win that show very comprehensively, but he wasn't as good in Toronto as he was at the Arnold Classic earlier this year. His back in particular looked a lot better at this year's Arnold, especially the one he brought at the finals. That was so shocking for everyone. So whatever him and his coach, Chris Aceto, did in those final 24 hours, that really did wonders for him. I mean, he was able to get straight votes for that 4th place. And surprisingly, after the prejudging, he was 7th in terms of the points. So that is how much he was able to improve in just 24 hours. And this just goes to show us that if Akim Williams is at his very best, he can beat a lot of very good bodybuilders. There was Antoine Wylant. He was at his very best in Ohio. James Hollingshead as well. Plus, not to mention John De La Rosa. And all these guys looked incredibly good. But Akim was still able to beat all these guys, especially at the finals. So now that he is qualified for the upcoming Miss Olympia, the question is that, how high can he place? And I have to say, you just cannot make a prediction with this guy, because he needs to be bang on target in terms of everything. Especially considering the fact that he's going to be losing that back shot against a lot of the guys at the Olympia, and that too by quite some margin. So do let me know what you guys think. Can he place as high as top 8? So Rafael Brandao is clearly in the discussion of the top 10 finish at this upcoming Miss Olympia. He was able to make top 10 even in 2022, And that was a very smaller version of Brandao. Plus, the lineup at the Olympia 2022, that was also much deeper compared to last year. So whether Big Ramy makes his return to the stage in 2024 or not. Because that is still a big question mark. Because if he does, all these guys including Rafael Brandao, who are most probably gonna play somewhere between 8th to 10th, they are all gonna push down at least one slot. So we are at 15 weeks out, and Brandao is still pushing with a lot of wood. He's still 290 at 15 weeks out of the Olympia. So he may be able to come in a few pounds heavier, especially in comparison to his look at this year's Arnold in Ohio. But we do not know if that's gonna work. We don't know if that's gonna go in his favor. Because we did saw him come in a bit fuller, a bit heavier for the Arnold Brazil. And that kinda backfired. In fact, he was kinda lucky to get away with the win there against Tony Burton. But that being said, his look at this year's Arnold in Ohio, that was extremely impressive by every standard. He still doesn't have the thickness to beat guys like Hunter Labrada and Nick Walker. Just making this comparison because these physiques are polar opposites in their strengths and weaknesses too. But Rafael is still a lot more athletic than these guys, and that goes in his favor. He's one of the best guys in terms of shape in the men's open class. And as per Talent Manion, Rafael Brandao, when he is truly on, he has no weak shots. And that really is a very big compliment. And it is only a matter of time until he becomes a first call-out guy at the Olympia. But that being said, I have to say that time isn't here just yet. He still needs more time to put on more mass, more thickness. And even his coach, Neil Hill, said that himself, that he's gonna need another 2 years to be really competitive against guys like Samson Dauda or Andrew Jack. So do let me know what you guys think. How high can Rafael Brandao place at this upcoming Mr. Olympia? Can he place as high as top 8? So Milo Sarcev has been working with Chul Lee for quite some years now. And for those of you guys who do not know, he is a former Olympian. We saw him on the Olympia stage back in 2020. So here he is at 2.5 weeks out of Chicago Pro. And this isn't his first show of 2024. He competed at this year's Cali Pro as well, but he was unable to make top 5. Which just gives us a proof that with all the emerging talent and all these new and incredible physiques that we are seeing in the pro ranks, and also those physiques that have already been there, but they have been improving at such a fast pace, it has become really difficult to win a pro show these days. And that too for guys who have been on the Olympia stage previously. So Chul Lee is also fighting an age factor here. I believe he is in his 40s. And either this recent check-in was done in the worst possible lighting, or he just isn't there where he needs to be at 2.5 weeks out of the show. So he was unable to make top 10 when he made his debut at the Olympia back in 2020. But for some guys, even stepping on the biggest bodybuilding stage in the world, that is a huge accomplishment. So Chicago Pro lineup is gonna be finalized very soon. And as of right now, there aren't any big names. We are doing that show in about 2 weeks' time. But we are hearing some rumors here and there that John De Rosa might do it or Muhammad Fada might do it. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video. And smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.